Ahead of us is Ebri, to our right is Dodowa, but if we take the next left, then we are going back to Accra. This is About Town live on Citi TV. We are taking you through some of the busiest parts of town to show you how it looks like during a lockdown. Like you know, the president has directed a 2-week lockdown, which he says by the end of this week they would have decided whether or not to extend it, in a bid to combat the COVID-19. And so we are taking you through town to see the volume of mobility, the volume of human interaction, to find out if it is increasing or otherwise compared to the start of the lockdown itself. So we are now on the Adenta Dodowa road. This road can take you out of Accra. You do Dodowa, you can get to the Apollonia area, then you're heading towards Somenya. There's a stretch that can take you through Doyumu, then you make the main road going towards Shai Hills and deep into the eastern and Volta regions. So this is the road, quite busy. On days that are not partial, on days that there is no partial lockdown. So now that there is a partial lockdown, let's take a look at how this part of town looks like. Around this side where we are currently, I see fewer vehicles on the road, but taking the turn to the Adenta barrier, it seemed there was considerable volumes of traffic, or mobility was higher than we see now around the Adenta barrier. But where we are now, I see fewer vehicles on the road. And so we'll keep going to show you how things look like on this stretch. Good. So we are at Fafraha now. We are getting very close to Yomat. This particular stretch has always been a bottleneck, and motorists have complained time and again due to how poor the nature of the road was at the time. As you can see now, it's been fixed, but the bottleneck here made it practically impossible for motorists to ply this stretch easily. That's Yomat on our left, a very huge company there. It is closed down actually, and no activity is ongoing there as I see it. The road ahead of us is quite clear. On a normal day, you wouldn't see it like this, but it still looks like some considerable numbers of vehicles are on the stretch. This is the Adenta Dodowa stretch. So on a day that there is no lockdown, you wouldn't have it so easy plying this stretch of the Dodowa, Adenta Dodowa road. There's often bumper to bumper traffic, really. That's what you see on this particular stretch. For those who live here, I'm sure it is a big surprise for you to see that traffic is this fluid. However, you don't want to try it because there's currently a lockdown. What's going on here? That's Fafraha shop. That's Melcom. Okay, certainly Malcolm has a grocery, and so a lot of people love to pass by and shop, and it's one of the essential services. So the car park is full, but like I was saying, on any other day, if you were plying this stretch, it will be, you would have to make up your mind that you are getting home very late. But now, as you can see it, traffic is very fluid. No one is cutting in ahead of us. Nobody is driving recklessly to give you a heartache and infuriate you. Typically that road rage thing that occurs on the road associated with huge volumes of traffic, right? I haven't seen any now. If you've been watching Citi TV for a long time, good. So we are at Ashiye now. This is where we conducted the war against indiscipline exercise the last time we came, just where that tipper truck is parked. The volume of traffic here during rush hour, it's so huge that drivers find it very difficult to actually be in line. They feel it's a punishment. They feel they are not getting to work in time when they decide to go in line. So you find a lot of drivers driving on the shoulder of the road. You will find others, especially government officials, particularly security officers and immigration officers. They've earned this accolade. They always driving against traffic on this particular stretch. But look at it. I see two gentlemen. They look like they're gallivanting. I don't know what exactly they are doing, but maybe they are taking a walk. Maybe they are delivering essential service. I'm not too sure. But that is the look and feel of the Adenta Dodowa road right now in terms of the volumes of traffic and human activity ongoing. There is a toll booth ahead of us. We'll get there soon, but we are currently at Amanfro. We are still at Amanfro on the Adenta Dodowa road, going towards Dodowa, to show you how the volume of traffic is like and the level of human activity there. But this is the Amanfro town. A food joint open, a small market open, construction sites nowhere going on, homes, we don't even see people in their homes. Their cars are parked, but they are not even taking fresh air, as they will say it. They are all inside. It looks good at Amanfro. The volume of traffic isn't too big. The number of people we see walking about at Amanfro is not compared to what we saw at Ashiye and Fafraha. Those places look like the business centers on this stretch of the road. So we are still on the Adenta Dodowa road. This is about town. We've hit Amrahia now. Amrahia, I believe the toll booth won't be too far from here. Also the Valley View University. So this stretch plays a very key role. It plays educational functions. If you remember your geography lessons, they ask you locations and the functions they play. If there's an important institution like a university, you can tell that it plays an educational role. So there is Valley View University on this stretch. That should tell you that, again, the volume of mobility, the rate of mobility on this stretch will be high, because the student population, the faculty, and the number of people who will be going in and out on a daily basis are huge if you look at it from the perspective of just the educational institution. So traffic on this stretch is huge. Again, traffic is huge because a lot of people, particularly within the middle class, love this place. It's a peri-urban area that has grown to meet the urban center. So a lot of people move here to acquire their properties here, especially because it's away from the center. Then the cost of land is relatively cheaper compared to you have in Cantonment, East Legon, etc. And also the view here is great. The greenery is amazing. the rate at which rain falls here is also quite higher. So the climate makes for a very nice place you prefer to live. So again, you have it there. Volume of traffic ordinarily quite huge, but we see some young men outside. Looks like they live in compound houses, and it looks like the road and their homes are together. So they are outside, but they could tell you they are home, because that's just how it looks like right now. There are shops just ahead, just in front of their homes. But yes, we are seeing a lot more greenery now. A lot more greenery on both sides. To our left, we just went past the St. John of God Hospital. But we are still at Amra here. So Ghana Christian University College, we just went past it on our left. It's a private university run by a church. So it's a faith-based private university, a tertiary institution, faith-based tertiary institution on our left. All of this is their campus. We just went past it. So again, another big institution that plays educational role. To our right, you see, I think what would ordinarily be called timber market. There's a lot of wood here. I see a truck there, but there is no interaction, there is no activity. One of the conversations that have come up during this lockdown is whether or not toll booths will be working, and if they will be handling money, if they will sanitize it, if they will be wearing gloves. We are getting close to this toll booth. Let's see if there will be any at all. But you know, particularly one of the landmarks, or one of the key features on this stretch is the fruit market. I see some, not so many as on a regular day. Here's the fruit market on the Dodowa Adenta stretch. Behind me is the Dodowa toll booth. Because it's a toll booth, there's often a hiccup here where a lot of the vehicles have to slow down in order to get through the toll booth. But as it is now, you don't really need to, snail your way out of the toll booth. You just have to take your time, and before you know it, you are out. The fruit sellers, ordinarily you find a bigger, the volume of fruits you see here will be much more than it is here, but I only find one tent operating and then one table behind me working. You see some mangoes, potatoes, you see star fruit, yori, pear, lemon, pineapples, coconut. There are some yams. Oh, and ever timely Gary is also here. So all these form part of the essential services, so they are open. However, their numbers have reduced because the volume of traffic, or the market and the demand for their wares or their goods, is not as high as it used to be. This is the Dodowa toll booth. Volume of mobility quite low, but if you look behind me again, you can tell that the numbers of the vehicles are increasing. Again, you're heading towards a toll booth. However, during a lockdown, should this be the situation, that's what we are seeing. There are police officers here. Across the toll booth to the military men as well as CID, and they are checking the drivers to be sure that the people are moving lawfully.
Hey, Salam.
Sir,
Salam.
how are you doing?
By His grace, I'm doing well.
You closed from work today?
I closed from work.
How is the lockdown and working during lockdown?
It's going on well.
Everything is fine for you?
Everything is fine.
Good, so you use this stretch a lot, I believe.
It's not easy.
Tell me, before the lockdown, how's the volume of traffic here like?
Oh, now traffic has become very easy. There is no traffic on the way.
Right. Prior to the lockdown, how was the situation like before the lockdown?
Come again.
Before the lockdown, how was the traffic like compared to now?
As for before the lockdown, the traffic was very tedious. Traffic was not very easy. It's not easy at all.
But now it's much better.
It's better
You are cruising, eh?
somehow.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Right. So that's an immigration officer who just reached out to us. We are seeing increase. You want to talk more? What do you want to talk about?
Yes, I'm highly pleased and so highly coherent of the approach the ruling government has put in place for the lockdown measures.
Right.
Yes.
If you are talking about the volume of traffic and the level of human activity during this lockdown, how do you make of it?
Yes, even though it is highly stressful, but then the life of human being is so pertinent, and therefore the measures is so deemed to be very important.
I mean, thank you very much.
Yes, I'm Detective Richard Tete, Amano, National Headquarters Intelligence Unit.
Right. What do you make of the level of compliance from citizens and the activity of some military and police officers? I mean,
Yes, I could see some civilians don't understand certain measures, and therefore I try to encourage them to calm down with emotional intelligence, and everything will be done successful. So far as life, when it is lost, you cannot recover, but certain situations can be recovered. I think this approach is the best measure, and I do also try as much as possible to advise fellow colleagues as well as certain civilians to understand this concept and ensure that the necessary measures or concept given by the ruling government should be abided.
Detective, thank you.
So much grateful.
So that was Detective. Hi, how is it? Like you can see, the volume of traffic is gradually increasing. It's actually rush hour. It's 4:15. A lot more people are returning home. So the density of the traffic is on the right side towards Dodowa instead of the left towards Medina or Adenta. One thing I've observed though is that many of the drivers are wearing nose masks. A good number of the drivers I'm seeing, particularly those in their own vehicles, are wearing nose masks. Like this very driver in a very nice nose mask made of African print. Chief, why are you in a nose mask though?
Yeah, I'm trying to abide by the rules set by the government, some
Okay.
safety precautions, and I've got my hand sanitizer here too. So.
I see. Peter Obing Sobo is the supervisor of the toll collectors here. I just want to find out from you how the exercise has been like so far, the toll collection in the time of the lockdown since it started.
So far, the cars are not flowing because of the lockdown. The cars are not flowing.
However, in terms of your own safety and combating the spread of the virus, what are some of the measures you've put in place?
Oh, so far you have sanitizer on each boot, and then you have the tap over there. So once a while, then you go and wash your hands.
But then I realize none of your men is in a glove, and the people are taking money, they are receiving tickets and all. Don't you think that's a point of concern?
Yeah, it's true, but I have provided sanitizer on the boot, on each boot. So once a while, then they will apply the sanitizer on their hand. So once a while, then they will go to the tap and then wash their hand. So they are not using the gloves.
Do you have plans of providing gloves, or you have challenges with the provision?
Oh, you have, but some of the road users are complaining about the gloves. So that's why you decided to use the sanitizer and then hand.
They are complaining about the gloves, rather?
Yes.
What are their complaints?
It's a, some of them will come, they will say that the glove is, they don't want to see the gloves. Some of them say the glove is dirty. But meanwhile, the gloves, maybe 10 minutes, the person will change it.
So they are more satisfied with your men not using the gloves at all?
Yes, and most of the users.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Welcome.
How do you find the lockdown so far? As a health worker, when you drive around, what do you see?
Well, it's not too bad anyway, but then measures have to be put in place, especially for health workers, because for my colleagues like this, I have to pick them. I don't have an option. If they are coming today, that if they don't meet me on the way and they are coming, this one is coming for night. And you can imagine how she's going to get a car and come all along. The Ayalolo too is not, we are not seeing it on the road.
Are you sure that Ayalolo is not flying? There are 15 of them designated by
They are
government.
only for mornings, but for the afternoons and the nights, they are not on the road.
Okay, let me find out from you, as a health worker, paying the toll, taking it from someone who's not wearing the gloves. According to the supervisor here, you drivers don't actually like it when their men don't wear the gloves. Is that it?
Personally, I dislike it, because what if
The
somebody,
gloves?
yes, what if somebody has it, they are just transferring it to me. So what I do is I have, and they don't change the glove. The glove is a disposable glove. So it's supposed to be used once, and when you use it once, you just discard it. But they use it for a lot of cars the whole day. So personally, for me, I have my hand sanitizer here. So when I pay the ticket, what I do is the first thing I apply it and then use it on my steering wheel before I keep going.
Okay. So you think that it's better they don't wear the gloves?
Yes, they shouldn't wear it. Then they should use the sanitizer. Then maybe they should be two. So if one is doing it, then one
the
works
other
for
will go
some
and
time,
wash
then
their
the
hand
other
or
one will go and wash and then. But if one person keeps using the sanitizer, it's not the best.
Okay.
The gloves is not the
What's
best.
your name?
Anita,
Anita what?
Labi name.
Thank you. Let me speak to you because you are on the afternoon shift. You're on the afternoon shift. Tell me about transportation to and fro.
I came for night.
Okay, you came for
a
night.
workshop, so we just closed and we are now going home.
Tell me about transportation.
Yeah, yesterday, for instance, I had to take a car. They alighted at the toll, so I went to the police people to beg them to get me a car to go to work, and they did. So I had a car to work.
But the Ayalolo being run by a government should have started yesterday.
Seen them. Yesterday we didn't see them, but it was this morning we saw the cars passing. But this afternoon we've not seen any.
So are you satisfied with the measures put in place for your transportation?
Benefits until we benefit. So since we've not seen anything, we are not satisfied.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, so we just joined one of the tricycles that is providing no transport. No, I'm not going to arrest you. Tell me, what's your name? Talk to me.
Yeah, my name is Jeffrey John Paul.
Okay, how's it going?
Yeah, we are suffering in the town.
How are you suffering in the town?
We are suffering so much in this. We are in Africa.
How are you suffering?
Africa doesn't deserve all these things, various that they are asking we to do, and at the same time we are suffering and we don't have anything that we get to chop. At the same time, we, the government, we have supported the government to prove we to something that we can, the youth can achieve something in our improvement.
So what are you saying?
Yeah, now the government has allowed everybody who have to work or everybody who have something to do, you got to do it.
They say there's a virus, so stay home.
Yeah, the virus is not in Africa. We are in Africa.
Are you aware the virus is in Ghana?
Yeah, it's not in Ghana.
Are
We
you
are
sure it's not in Ghana?
It's not in Ghana.
So where is it?
It's in China.
So you think that the lockdown is not necessary?
It's not necessary. We have to eat and chop, work and eat.
If you chop, work and eat and die, which one is good? And staying home, eat and sleep and live?
We Africa doesn't disturb about all those various that they are thinking about in this our language.
Man, thank you.
So we need peace in our land, and we need everything that they have to do. They have to do it in peacefully. We need all these things in our land. We need peace in our land.
Right.
We doesn't need all these things our land. This Ghana peaceful is motherland, and a motherland doesn't need all these things various that they are thinking about. And in Ghana have all various in this town. We doesn't depend about all various. We get to eat and fight and eat and fight and know where we are so it have to reach.
Man, thank you, brother.
So please our government to surely we to get where we are going to free to up our land and freedom we to eat
Peace out, brother. Peace out. Take care.
The same to you.
Thank you, man. Yes, man. Okay, so that's a tricycle rider. He doesn't believe coronavirus is even in Ghana yet.